I think appealing to the independents is where we should be, because most people are moderate. Most people don't lean so far to the right or so far to the left. Most people are here in the middle, in the 70%. What do we do to reach those people? How do we find them, get them interested in fighting for democracy? Welcome back to the Around the District podcast. I'm Gabrielle Mazar.
I'm Nicole Brown.
And today we're going to talk about why Democrats are leaving the Democratic Party and what we can do to help get our message across and consistent to bring voters back. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, so this morning I was watching the news and I saw that over 100,000 that the Democrats lost over in the state of Arizona, lost over 100,000 voters, and the Republicans were up 89. The independent people registering as independent was up over like 100, I want to say 150,000. And it was shocking. 108,000
2 million
2 million nationwide.
Nationwide.
It's shocking, but it's not. A lot of younger people aren't seeing eye to eye with the Democratic Party and the messaging. And I think that's key. Messaging. We don't have a message. And even in Arizona, recently, the state committee, which I am a part of, wasn't my vote, but ousted the sitting chair. And so we don't have a message. We don't have a leader or a message. And so if we don't have a message, we can't tell people where we're going or what we're doing.
Right.
And I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's asking me, why should I be a Democrat? What am I going to tell them?
I think that Gavin Newsom, J.D. Pritzker, Wes Moore, what they're doing and standing up is the beginning of a message. For Newsom to get out there and write those tweets, just like Dump has been doing, I think it speaks volumes, because they're fighting it and they're so mad about it. And how can you do this? This is unprofessional. And he's the governor of California. What do you mean?
I love that.
The president of the United States is doing this. And Newsom literally said, I am doing this because of him. I am mimicking him. Period. With all the memes that he's putting out, I mean, him being preyed upon by what's his name from Fox News that got fired, Tucker Carlson, and I think it was Kid Rock putting his hand on him. I think it is such a strong message saying this is unacceptable and we're not going to stand for it anymore. And I think that needs to be our message. This is unacceptable. What they're doing is not helping everyone. It is helping the select few.
People are ready for the Democratic Party to start fighting back.
Yes.
People are ready for
standing up, stop rolling over. It's not they go low, we go high. It's they go low, we go lower.
Right. And I think it's just that the current president has been able to get away with so much.
Right.
And it feels like there's nothing ever that sticks to him. And nobody holds him accountable.
That he is doing traditionally would be absolutely disqualifying for a president. I mean, let's talk about...
Well, he shouldn't even be president.
Let's talk about Clinton. Clinton, okay, what he did was wrong, but that made everybody go, oh my God, but you are a convicted felon. You talk about young girls being naked. You say and do awful, horrible things. Your bankruptcies, your lies, you're shutting down businesses. Like, all of these things would be disqualifying, but for some reason it speaks to people. Gross. I can't. I do not understand it. But I love that they're fighting back. I love that Pritzker is so vocal and saying, no, do not send in the National Guard. I did not want
Wes Moore the same thing.
Wes Moore saying the same thing. I never said that.
That he wanted to fire the black lady, and her name is slips.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, but can't.
Yeah, but he fired her, which he doesn't have the authority to do without cause.
Mm-hmm.
And she said I'm not resigning.
I'm not resigning.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
You go take it to court, and whatever the court says,
Yep.
I'll stand behind.
Yep.
Like, we need that kind of fire in this country today, because we are seeing that our democracy is at risk.
Yeah.
Like, our freedom
Yes.
is at risk.
Yes.
He wants to be a dictator, and that's scary to me. And he alone can't do this. There are too many people that are complacent in this whole thing, and that is the Republican Party. I heard today or read somewhere, maybe it was, I don't know if it was true or not, but I heard now Mitch McConnell's sort of trying to have a coup to like get the Republican people to vote against Trump and what he wants. But too late.
Yeah.
Look, dude, you created this.
This is your fault.
You created it.
You created
Mitch McConnell created all of this for power and money when Obama was president. And he didn't like the fact that there was a first Black president getting shit done.
Yeah. But here and again he
did what he could. Let's talk about Supreme Court, because he held up Obama's ability to appoint somebody to the Supreme Court.
This is exactly what I said in another episode, is that, again, if you're doing these things to dismantle this, what happens when it's not working out in your favor, when it's the other side? So here McConnell did this to uphold these votes so that we couldn't get Supreme Court justices in. And now he's going, wait a minute, this isn't what I thought was going to happen. What the hell did you think was going to happen?
President Obama, he did a disservice to President Obama.
Absolutely.
By holding up through the Senate his ability to appoint someone to the Supreme Court, which means we would not have one of those justices, and I think it might be Kavanaugh, but I don't remember, who one isn't qualified or wasn't. He had some issues himself. Like, that's the highest,
allegations,
the highest court in the land.
Yes.
And we have people on there that are corrupt. Thomas.
Yep.
Justice Thomas. He should not. Yep. He should never. He should have been taken down a long time ago. Like, impeached is what he should have been.
Yeah.
And then Kavanaugh never should have been appointed. Like, he shouldn't have. His background there was questionable.
Yeah.
Everybody in Trump's administration, in my personal opinion, is incompetent. Like, I haven't seen one person who has done something that didn't in some way violate the Constitution or the American people and our rights as citizens in this country, or they withheld something, Epstein files. How about those?
Yeah. And
how they're trying to, it's just a mess.
Right. I think, all that's said and done. There's nothing we can do about that in the past. What can we do going forward? How do we get a clear message? How do we get people registered to vote? How do we get people to want to get out to the polls when they are trying to disenfranchise everyone? They're trying to disenfranchise voters and make it so that your vote doesn't count. And people are leaving, even if they're just going to independent. I think appealing to the independents is where we should be, because most people are moderate. Most people don't lean so far to the right or so far to the left. Most people are here in the middle, in the 70%. What do we do to reach those people? How do we find them and get them interested in fighting for democracy?
I honestly, first of all, in the state of Arizona, we have to get a leader. Our state party has no leader at this point, and we do have an election coming up on September 13th to elect a new chair. But I don't know if that's going to help the party, especially for the midterm elections coming up next year. And then once that happens, and at the national level, neither, in my opinion, we don't know what we stand for. We don't know what we're fighting for, or there hasn't been a consistent message. And there are voters who, in the state of Arizona, who feel disenfranchised and not included. A lot of what I've learned about Arizona, my personal opinion, is that the status quo is where people want it to be, and we've moved past that. Mm-hmm. Younger voters, their voice matters the most, mm-hmm. because they have a different vision. They want to go in a different direction. And I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying they just need to be heard. We need to listen. I think there are the minority voters who all are not included in the discussion. And also like women voters, men, like we everybody's on a different page.
Yeah.
So once we figure out where we stand as a party, then we can probably move forward. But we don't have a lot of time. We are missing that piece of it. And I don't know that for the midterm elections, maybe the general elections, that we will get there fast enough. And it worries me about who is going to be elected midterm.
That's terrifying because of was it Andy Biggs that's going to try and run for governor?
We have the governors, we have attorney general, we have secretary of state, we have a lot of really big elections coming up,
and that could completely change the course of Arizona going forward if those people are elected into office.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. So
if we didn't have Governor Hobbs, we would.
Oh, how many? I mean, she's vetoed what 100 things.
We would be in trouble as a state right now.
Right.
If we did not have Attorney General Mace, who I absolutely respect, we would be in trouble because she is leading the fight back to Trump and fighting all these policies that don't make sense.
But I think that's part of the message too. I think Hobbs has done quite a bit that most people don't know about or understand what she's stopping from happening. And she has really stood up and said, no, we're not doing this. Veto, get out of here. Come back. No. So we need to really.
That's part of the messaging.
That's part of the messaging.
Getting out
praise
there
the leaders that we have.
What the leaders have done. Yes. And I don't know that people know. Some people don't even know who our governor is.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
I feel like that's pretty. I think that's pretty standard. I think a lot of people don't care or don't pay attention because they don't know that it's going to affect them. But I will say what is going to start affecting people is when they start losing their health care, the price of things.
Which is happening.
That's already happening. Hospitals are closing. The prices of things are going up. Don't tell one more person tells me the price of gas has gone down, I will punch you. It is bull.
Don't go to jail. We need you back for the podcast.
Do not tell me. I have to buy premium gas for my stupid car that I love, but it's almost $4.
Yeah,
garbage. The price of gas has gone down. Bull. That's the price of groceries.
I think that we have to talk about educating the voters. So that's going to take people going door to door canvassing. Voter registration is key because again, we talked about this. Fundraising does not matter if we don't get people to the polls. Fundraising is an issue, so we need money to do the things that we need to do. But educating voters, getting them to the polls, raising money, those are the things. And the biggest one of all, in my opinion, is one consistent message about the people. And they care about the kitchen table items. They do not care about all the other fluff stuff.
Yeah.
It's the economy. It's prices for food. And, everyday items that they need to buy for their families. That's what people care about. And the Democratic Party as a whole, nationwide and down in Arizona, we need to figure out what that looks like and how do we take that to the people and get them back to the polls.
Yeah, so
that's how you change it.
Going to this election that just happened in Iowa, where that seat was flipped from Republican to Democrat, Caitlin Dray, she had a very specific message. This is what I support. This is what I'm running on. She was also running against a very MAGA candidate. So I think that helped. However, only 24% of the registered voters in District 1 in Iowa voted. So 7,600 people out of 31,000 people voted. Now, the swing, because that was a district that voted 11.5 points for Trump, but now voted 10 points for this Democratic state senator. That's a huge swing. But again, the voters, I guess the ones that did care about it went out and voted. But that
turned out in her favor.
It turned out in her favor. And I think,
historically, that hasn't been the favor. Historically, midterm elections have not been favorable to Democrats because Democratic voters didn't understand that importance. And that's why you see so many of the people who are in the House and the Senate are the MAGA folks running things, because people don't understand the impact that local elections have on their everyday lives.
Right.
And that's why they need to be educated.
And what's really important about that specific district is that her switching that seat got rid of the supermajority in Iowa. So we do really need to focus on these local elections and state elections, because that is really what is going to change the course.
Yep.
And if we allow it to flip to the other side, we could be in really big trouble.
So I'd say to everyone, get out there, get involved,
become a canvasser.
Canvas,
knock on doors,
go to your local legislative district, get involved there. They will guide you. You can write letters, postcards, you can canvas, you can drive the canvassers if you don't want to knock on doors, you can show up to rallies and protests, you can do voter registration. There are so many ways to get involved. But it's going to take all of us to change this if we want to see anything.
And let us know the message that you want to hear. What do you want to hear from your Democratic representatives, from your Democratic Party? What is the message that you want to get across that's so important to people and the party as a whole, to make people realize what we're fighting for? Right. Let us know. So there are things that can be done. You can always reach out to us, and hopefully we can comment, share our posts, share our podcasts, and let us know, speak out. And I think that can make a huge difference.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to our rant today. Again,
rant number 2.
But share, comment, send us an email, and let us know what you want to hear and what you want to see from your Democratic Party.